Happy New Year's Eve. Can't believe this is the last day of 2024. Thank God, if you know what I'm saying. I really hope 2025 is gonna look a little nicer, but let's not get our hopes up. Today I'm painting Dame Aylin and Isobel from Baldur's Gate. They're so cute. My very favorite character in BG3 is Karlach. I love her character. I really like how Baldur's Gate 3 portrays women. I like that they are sometimes stronger than the male characters, pretty much oftentimes always stronger. And I really also like the way that the men are portrayed as have some more maybe feminine traits, like being a little bit more resourceful, cunning, more dexterous. I'm playing through the game in Dark Urge, and we just killed Cazador yesterday. It took us like 4 hours because we have played and defeated honor mode before. You really don't need to do any of the bosses that are optional, and I knew if we did Cazador, the best case scenario would be that we might even just lose Astarion. Worst case scenario is we all die and we're in dishonor mode. Now playing the legendary action Cazador fight. I'm so glad that we stayed away from it for our honor mode playthrough because it was intense, let me tell you. I think I'm pretty good at this game. I love playing the highest difficulty, and it works really well for me because I can sit there and plan my next move. It's very similar also to D&D. There's obviously big differences, but I'm in campaigns in D&D now with my friends, and Zach's gonna build like a new campaign that's gonna be super cozy where we build our little potion shop. But Baldur's Gate is very similar. So doing that fight, I'm not even talking about Dame Aylin and Isobel. I'm talking about Cazador. It was insane. Doing that fight in honor mode / legendary actions was crazy. I would be pretty much convinced that he's the strongest character, and I'm kind of worried about how hard Raphael is going to be because he's already really hard in the regular playthrough mode. I really enjoy the combat in Baldur's Gate 3. I have never played a game where I enjoy combat quite as much. You guys gave me a lot of really good recommendations for games on my video, my 10-year anniversary video. So we have a couple of those downloaded. Banner Saga 3 went on the winter sale on Steam, so Zach bought them all for like $9. I wish there was a clothing shopping or makeup or home equivalent to how super sale games go on. That's a whole nother topic. I love Dame Aylin's character design. I love how big she is. I've historically been really drawn to large and in charge women like Brienne of Tarth. She was my favorite character in Game of Thrones, so I'm naturally drawn to Dame Aylin. I really like when shows, movies, games have really powerful women like this that don't really make a statement one way or another. They're just really interesting, unique. We had an insane rainstorm and the sun just came out. Her backstory is also really good, very compelling, and in our Dark Urge playthrough, we did in fact ice her, which was really sad actually. It was like weird to not have one of my favorite characters. We also don't have Karlach on the team because Karlach's so good. She's not interested in being on the bad side. We also don't have Will. He left. We randomly have Jaheira. If anybody makes any sense of that, we were so antagonistic towards her. We destroyed everything in Act 2 and left the Shadow Curse, and she still ends up on our side, even though she's a very lawful good character. Honestly, that's probably the weirdest thing from BG3 so far that we've experienced. I also really wish that Isobel was a playable character, somebody who can be a companion and join your party, because she is so fleshed out. It feels like to me that when they were making the game, maybe that was an intention and then it was like cut from the budget or time. That could be completely wrong. But it feels like she is too compelling of a character to just be part of a little story. I feel like she should be a companion character. We love WLW, and it's a very sweet relationship in the game. So I wanted to draw both of them. If you've been following me for the past couple of weeks, I've been talking about wanting to be a little bit more diverse in my subject matter, having more characters interacting with each other in my paintings, also having more backgrounds, dynamic shots. So I'm trying to work on that. And I like many aspects of this painting, especially how I painted Dame Aylin. I think just because of time constraints, I started this painting yesterday and I'm filming New Year's Eve. I'm trying to edit this video and post it today. It's also Zach's birthday, so I'm trying to get all of this stuff done before it gets too late. But because of my time constraints, I feel like I didn't work on Isobel quite as much as I wanted to. I've also recently talked about zooming in and getting really stuck on small details and zooming out, and they're disproportionately detailed compared to the rest of the painting. I feel like I didn't do that at all on Dame Aylin, and she looks great. Isobel's robe feels like it's a little too detailed for just the painting in general, and I feel feel like their two faces are a little bit different in style, which kind of bums me out. However, I still think it's really cute. It doesn't mean this has to be my last painting of them too, and it was a big exercise on drawing armor and metal. I really think I did a pretty good job with Dame Aylin's. The end result is really cool, and it's impressive for me because I don't draw armor, I don't draw metal very often, so I'm proud of myself for getting all those tones right. The reflections I feel like look good. I'm excited to draw more. I mean, I feel like Asterian's next. He would also be really interesting to draw. I generally don't really believe in myself when it comes to colors in my paintings. I think that all ties together better at the end of the painting when I add color effects and overlays to my painting to make it sort of pop and stand out. But I think that I had a pretty good understanding of what I just wanted the colors to be in this piece, and I think they look pretty nice all throughout the process. I don't believe I even added too many different color effects towards the end of the process. The colors of the piece are great and I'm really proud of them. And I like the textures in this, like the little scale mail. I really like how I painted Dame Aylin's whole thing. Her face, her armor, her hand. I like how I believe I conveyed her size well. And Isobel, I'm a little bit less pleased with, but that's just life. If you know, I have the most insane trouble drawing that this angle of the face. I feel like it always looks awful, so I worked pretty hard in trying to make it look nicer, and I don't think it looks terrible, but I would love to revisit that angle and make it look a little bit nicer. You can see me fiddling with it for the whole painting process, moving where her eye is, moving the darkness around her eyes, changing up the colors of how much blush she has and her cheeks and the nose. I was really struggling with the face, and I got it to a place where I don't absolutely hate it, so that's a win, I think, because I generally hate the way that I paint faces in this angle. One other little thing that I would change in this painting process, apart from how much I detailed Isobel's robe, I would have changed Isobel wearing the gloves. That being said, she does just wear gloves with her armor, and Dame Aylin also wears gloves with metal bits all over them, and I did not want to paint those, so I just painted her hands. Looking at the painting, I wish that I had also painted Isobel's hands instead of gloves, but I had already decided on doing the gloves, and because my tiny time crunch, figured it might just be a lot easier to paint the gloves and not have to worry so much about hands and the colors in, you know, the hands. I wonder if you can tell any of this in the painting process, if this also jumps out to you, or if you didn't notice it before I pointed it out. I hope you had a good weekend. I hope maybe a little bit of time off from work, that you've been resting a little bit during the holidays, because they're hectic and stressful. No spoilers, I watched Squid Game season 2. We watched it all on Sunday, the last 20 minutes of the season on Monday, because it was like 1 a.m. and I could not keep my eyes open to watch the rest. I wonder what you thought if you watched it. I'll say it, I liked it. This is not a spoiler. Click 30 seconds ahead if you don't want to hear anything about it. I wish I had known that it was going to be like half of a story and not a fully wrapped up season, because I was really wondering, like, how are they gonna wrap this up? They have one more episode left, and I was like, how are they gonna wrap this up? There's 30 minutes left, and they didn't. I think it was a pretty good ending to this season, and if I had known that, I wouldn't have had that expectation, and it wouldn't have been something that upset me. I'm really excited to see season 3. I love Squid Game season 1, and I'm really glad that with season 2, the plot just kind of flowed naturally and it didn't seem forced. Even though the creator didn't want to make a second season, I think he did such a good job of continuing the story in a way that was still engaging, a little bit fresh and interesting. Zach and I were talking about this. I really liked that there was a trans character represented, and we talked about this. It's interesting that they didn't use a trans actor. They're a cis actor, but I also think it makes sense considering coming from a culture that's very similar to how strict ajimas are in Korea. I felt like it was pretty good representation for people that are absolutely not even interested in getting to know anything about trans people. I really liked the way that their relationships progressed in the show. It was just overall a little bit fascinating to see the perspective of the creator, who is Korean, writing this character, and his thought process writing this character. Honestly, I don't really know what to make of season 2. I really like it, but it really depends on how the story ends. That's gonna be the clincher if I like season 2 or don't. But luckily it's coming out in 2025, so you don't have to wait that long. Severance is coming out in January. I'm so excited to watch Severance season 2, and then Last of Us season 2 is coming out. So overall, it's the beginning of some really great new seasons of TV shows that I love. I'm gonna have Apple TV, so I'm gonna watch a couple of new things on it that I haven't watched before. I got a comment suggesting to watch The Buccaneers, which looks really cute. I don't know if it is cute, but it looks cute. Thank you so much for watching this process. If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos. Turn on the notification bell because I post weekly, once or twice a week. I also have 100 of my old videos back up on my channel. There's a playlist of them on my front channel page. If you missed any of my old videos, they're back up. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts on the final painting. Have a happy new year, and I'll talk to you in the next one in 2025. Bye.